Hello, my Plantiful Goddess, and welcome to this episode. I'm so excited to connect with you today and to speak to you about something that is so close to my heart and is so important, and something that I really believe we should all talk about more. For those of you who are watching the video, this plant looks a little bit dead. I'm aware of it, but we're trying to rescue it. Okay, we were in holidays and we weren't here for a month. Well, not really holidays, we were still working, but we weren't here for a month. So of course our plants were suffering a little bit. Okay, so for all of the plant moms out there, I'm sorry if I'm breaking your heart right here. But again, as I already said, I'm so excited to talk about this today. And, I was thinking about, okay, what is it that is so important to talk about as, a woman collective, as the sisterhood that we women crave to be in. And I have to say, the Plantiful Goddess program that we started beginning of July 2021 has been the most incredible experience I have experienced. I'm getting emotional right here because the work that we've been doing with the private clients and the weekly calls and the check-ins and the expert calls have been so incredibly powerful that every single day someone reaches out, someone thanks me, someone shares anything that has been going on for them, and it has become such a powerful and such an intimate space that we're all in together, that I'm just so grateful for this. And just recently we started talking a lot more about our periods, about our cycle, and I've gotten a lot of emotional responses as well, in a positive way, that the ladies are so grateful that we have an open space like this to talk about periods and to talk about our cycle. And not only that, but that with the work that we are doing, we are able to help these ladies really learn how to listen to what their bodies are needing, to what their bodies desire, to what their bodies are telling them, all of this. And something that oftentimes, again, is just seen as such a taboo thing, such a thing that shouldn't be talked about in public, shouldn't be discussed because it's too much or because it's none of their business. But whenever we open the discussion about periods, the ladies are sharing so much because it's been such a long stigma, let's say, that it's not okay to talk about this. And, just recently we talked about why or how to work with your cycle and how to be more gentle with it as well. And this gave me the inspiration to really make this an open topic and to really make this go big. I really want this to go big. I really want you to take from this episode that it's okay to talk about your period. And even if it feels weird for you listening to this right now, when I always talk about this in terms of ripple effect. When you start with something, when you start healing yourself, when you start talking about something, someone else will do the same, and then someone else will do the same. So you can imagine, when you throw a stone into the water and it ripples. It's the same type of effect that we have with our actions that we take, with our words that we speak, with the way we show up for ourselves and with others. It's the same thing. So when we heal ourselves, when we heal those wounds ourselves, we're going to be creating this ripple effect. And that's so powerful. So let's make talking about periods so normal. And not only that, but let's make living with it a beautiful experience. So often, and I've been there too, I struggled so much with my period. I struggled so much with my cycle. It would come every month and I would be so annoyed that it came. I would be like, oh, why does it have to be there? I have plans this weekend. I want to go partying. I want to travel. Whatever it is that I wanted to do, I felt like my period was always in the way. And I remember how badly I treated my body. I remember, being on my period and, wanting to go do stuff, but I was in so much pain. What I did instead was just literally drug myself with 2 to 3 or 4 painkillers at a time because I didn't want my period to interfere with my plans. And so I would take all of this, and this would make my body even worse, right? It would make a lot of things even worse because I was putting these drugs into my body that I wasn't supposed to. And, I was in so much pain, and instead of listening, instead of acknowledging, I tried to diminish it by putting on, I like this metaphor, by putting on a blister on an open wound that is bleeding a lot. I didn't recognize that there were more underlying issues to my cycle than just a painful period. Okay, but still, I always felt like it was a chore, like I didn't want to have it. And I got on the pill pretty early as well. Well, not as early as I know a lot of people do get on, but I think I was around, 18, 19, which is very early, I still believe, because your body is still doing so much and still, developing. And so I did get on the pill, and I did get on it. To be honest, it didn't really change much to the pain that I was experiencing. I still had a lot of pain every time I had a bleed. And when you bleed on the pill, it's not an actual period. It's just like a bleed through bleed because, of course, your body has to shed everything that is stored up. So yeah, and again, thinking back, I never understood PMS. I never understood why I would get emotional or why I would get tired and I would be so mean to myself. And, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, like, yes, I can relate. I am mean to myself too sometimes, or I don't acknowledge, what my body wants to tell me. I just really want to share this with you. I don't want you to feel bad. I really want to open this conversation or this discussion or this opportunity for you to now embrace everything that, has been so hard to embrace over the years for so many of us. And when we change that, when we change the way we see our period, when we change the way we live with it, it becomes such a beautiful and empowering experience. I cannot even tell how grateful I am for my cycle. And this took me some time to work through this. And this is the type of work that we also do, with my private clients in the programs and the coaching programs. This is the type of work where we really sit down and we go through, past experiences of how did you treat your period in the past? What's your relationship with your cycle? How would you like your relationship with your cycle to be? These questions are so important to look at. And again, something that oftentimes we don't do, right? Oftentimes we don't do this. We always think that it's there, it's annoying. I just want to make sure I'm okay. So everyone is listening to the podcast is like, what's going on? But I'm not sure if I'm actually focused on my camera. So we will see. We will see if this is working or not. It's a fun experience doing it the first time. But anyway, so it's important to, again, analyze kind of the relationship that you have with your cycle right now and how you see it, but also how you would like it to be, right? How would you like your relationship with your cycle to be? That's very, very important. That's very important to acknowledge and to see for yourself. And that's the only point where you can decide to change it for yourself. And why this is so important, and what's even more important to this, is that we should be understanding also the cycles, the phases of the cycle that we're in. Okay, without the phases of the cycle, it's going to be hard to work with our cycle in harmony, to really empower cyclical living as it is. Cyclical living basically means what I just shared is like you acknowledging the phase of the cycle that you're in and then living in accordance to it, and breathing in accordance to it, and working out in accordance to it, and eating in accordance to it, and everything. Okay, everything in your cycle can be built in accordance to what your body needs during this time. And so I'm gonna give you the 4 phases of the cycle in seasons, and this has up until this day is super helpful for me to, whenever I do feel down, I have to remind myself of which season I am in and my body is in. And that makes it a lot easier for me to then go ahead and act upon the way that I think is the right way to do it. Okay. So we start with our spring season. It's our follicular phase. And this is the phase where, you have a lot of energy. During spring, we know it's getting warmer. We know we're more outgoing. We're finally more out with friends, and we're spending more time outside. So this is very similar. This is a very similar way of doing this with your cycle as well, right? So pay attention to how you feel just when your period stops. This is where the follicular phase kicks in. And pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to what it is that your body's craving, of how you want to go out there and show up. Do you want to meet with people? Do you want to try something new? This is a really spicy time to spice things up, honestly. And I would always suggest it to do that. Okay, I would always suggest looking at it this way. Now, second, we go into our summertime, into the ovulatory phase. And summertime, I don't know a lot of people that don't like summer. You might not like heat, but summertime is a wonderful time, of course, as we know, to spend more time outside as well, to meet up with people, to explore, And what I also like, and it just came up into my mind, is a lot of times, we have summer flings, or like we know the summer romance kind of thing, and can be kind of connected with the cycle as well, because during the ovulatory phase, we are very fertile. Of course, it's the only time that we can actually get pregnant during this time. And so we're also a lot more, sexual. We are more, we want to go out more and have more experience and have more sex and have more intimacy as well. So pay attention to that as well. So again, I think a lot of similarities with actual summertime, and a lot of people I know, like to have, their summer romance or anything like that. So super interesting. Also during this time, you will experience that you're a lot more confident probably, and that you want to, just share whatever is up on your mind, and you will experience that the way you're articulating yourself is going to be a lot easier. It's going to feel effortless, and people will probably feel more attracted to you as well because of how you're showing up, right? And then we go into the luteal phase. The luteal phase is our autumn time, and it's our autumn time for a reason. And what I see a lot is women try to live in spring or summer the entire month, and they don't honor what comes up in their autumn time. And when you think about autumn time is a time where we're going more inward, where it's getting colder outside, and we want to spend more time with ourselves. We want to spend more time being cozy and watching Netflix or drinking tea or, eating pumpkin soup. whatever comes up for you. And actually, pumpkin is amazing during the luteal phase. Okay, so again, super, super interesting to look at it from this perspective as well. So think about the type of foods that you would eat during autumn time. Okay, I know I love warm meals. I love stews, soups, roasted vegetables, and really warm and filling meals. Nothing like a salad, nothing like a smoothie bowl, but really going into, you know, meals that fill me up and fill me up with nutrition as well. Of course, oftentimes when we are during autumn time, we might be feeling a lot of cravings as well for sugary stuff, for fast food stuff, and it's because our energy is a little bit more depleted during this time. And so what our body will naturally be doing is it's going to be asking us to give us more energy in terms of food, right? Because at the end of the day, food is energy. And so it's very important to listen to what comes up, okay, what it is that our body's craving, and then give it our body in a way that, you know, it's not going to overdo it, because you have to be a little bit more careful with the types of foods that you're giving your body during this time, because it can go the other way as well. It can actually make you also feel like you're going to be more tired now, or you know, when you give your body high sugary foods, it can mess a little bit with your hormone balance and with your cravings. So just pay attention to that and give your body what it needs. And when you allow yourself to really listen deep, you are able to really give it what it needs. And again, I'm going to speak a little bit longer about the autumn time, because it's so important. But the autumn time is also a phase where a lot of women feel disconnected from themselves. A lot of emotions are going to come up for you, and it can get very annoying. I hear a lot of women say that they cannot wait for the period to come, because then they will not feel this way anymore. And so I just really want you to understand that this is okay to feel this way. And the most important thing is that we allow ourselves to really feel what comes up and not try to suppress it. That's one of the things that is the worst that you can do, let's say, because the more you suppress it, the more it will want to come up, and the more emotional we will become, because our body is literally screaming for attention in a certain way, and it's telling us like, hey girl, this thing is coming up, like, can we, you know, talk about it? And you're just like, no, I have to do other things right now, duties, all of that. So it's important to, as I already mentioned, spend some more alone time, eventually also spend some, or have some dates by yourself, right? And dates, I don't mean like, you know, go out, drink and whatever, but like have a beautiful evening where you cook a nourishing meal for yourself, where you're just literally there in front of the TV. If you live with a partner or with roommates, communicate it with them and be like, hey, I do need an evening for myself tonight. And just be very honest and open. And I'm sure you're going to feel the effects and the benefits of it, because it's so important to do it during this time. Now, this was the autumn time, and then we got into winter. Our menstrual phase, the time when we bleed, our sacred time when we shed the old and we literally open ourselves up for new possibilities, new things that we want to attract. And that's something that is so, so beautiful. And we should all, I say should a lot because I'm so passionate about this that I know saying should a lot is probably not good. But again, I'm so passionate about this, and I've seen it with myself. I've seen it with all of the ladies I've coached, that this is really possible to change your way of thinking and to see your period and bleed as a sacred moment, as a moment where it feels so good to experience all of what your body is capable of doing, right? And whenever I do this, a whole new world opens up to me. The last cycle, I was spending literally an hour massaging my stomach with some warm olive oil. And I was not only massaging myself, I'm massaging actually my breasts as well. Then I was massaging my feet, my legs, my arms. I literally give myself a full body massage, laying there on the couch, and just really embodying and embracing this moment of stillness, this moment of I'm giving my body back everything that my body is doing for me. Like, your body is so amazing. It's doing so many amazing things to you. And oftentimes we're so mean to it. And so this was my sacred moment where I was there, and it was so beautiful. Oh my God, this process of massaging, this process of allowing to like just be present was something that I really invite every woman to do, because it helped me so much find back to myself and giving myself an entire body massage, basically. And then, of course, afterwards, your skin is soft and you feel amazing because you're completely covered in olive oil. And you can do this with my friend. She's Ayurveda specialist, and she also said sesame oil is amazing to do during this time. So find whatever feels good for you. Of course, smell as well is super important. So if you don't like the smell of sesame oil, maybe it's olive oil, anything that's maybe more neutral. And yes, this is the way that you can honor yourself. And I invite you again to do this for yourself, to experience this, and to share this also with your sisters, with your girlfriends, with your mom, your grandmom, whoever is in your life. There is never a time where you can end this. And if you're currently in perimenopause or menopause, these are still practices that you can do, giving yourself that love, giving yourself that, touching yourself, those sensations, right? To reconnect with yourself as a woman, reconnect with yourself as with the power that you have within. And when we see this whole cycle as a sacred way of living, it can change so much about also your energy. When you show up, when other people see you, you're going to be seeing that other people are seeing you in a different way, because you've been doing this work and it has been working for you, of course. So yeah, that is pretty much it. That is everything that I wanted to share here today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got at least one thing away from this. I would love for you to give this podcast a rating on Apple or iTunes. It would mean the world to me. It will probably take you a second, and it would make my entire day and year. Okay. And also, of course, you watching on YouTube, if you could give this video a thumbs up, it would mean the world to me. And other than that, of course, let's connect on Instagram. You can find everything in the show notes or underneath the video. And I'm sending you so much love. Thank you so much for listening to this and taking the time in your day to do this, to listen to this. This means a lot to me, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or whenever you're watching this, and talk next time. Bye bye.